Okay, this is a short video of an addition to my 2004 iPod mini collection. This is what I've collected thus far. 2004, Apple came out with the iPod mini. Two generations. The first generation, they were all 4 gigabyte with 5 colors, and the second generation came out with 4 colors in 4 gigabyte and 6 gigabyte. So what I plan on doing is collecting each color from each generation, inspired by the movie Baby Driver, where Baby uses different iPods. Actually, 16 minutes and 33 seconds into the film, you can see an overhead shot of all of the iPods and sunglasses that Baby has stolen from different cars in his fictitious career, that is. So this is a project to be displayed a little bit later, but what I plan to do with these iPods, they're 14 years old. In many cases, the batteries are dead. The batteries typically are made to last only 18 months. So you can imagine after 14 years, you don't get much battery life out of these things. But I love them. They're pocketable. I know you can take the flash cards out and put in 256 gigabyte drive flash cards, but I have no intention of carrying every single song that I own in a single iPod. I want to have a different iPod, like this one example has just Steely Dan on it, so, and a little Daft Punk. But I'm getting it down where I can just walk up to this tray, say I'm in the mood to listen to maybe some Steely Dan, so I'll take this and put it in the car. The next day I might want to listen to some jazz, so I'll take this blue one here and I'll just listen to jazz for the day. They're a little unique. Not everyone's doing it. But what I do is I find these things online. I don't steal them like Baby did in Baby Driver. I wouldn't say steal them. I can just get a good deal on them from shopgoodwill.com. You can buy things on Goodwill. They ship them to you, which you pay dearly for, typically $7 to $10 for shipping and handling. So many of these iPods are less than $10 a piece, but I paid up to $20, $22, $25 for them, total with shipping. So let me show you what we have today. This is a very unique purchase. I'll move that out of the way, completely out of the way. This came into the mail today. Real quick story, when I saw this online, I was quite amazed at something I had first noticed. I couldn't believe it myself when I first saw it, and I had to inspect the picture a little bit further, and once I saw what I saw, I believe this has got to be the first pink iPod for me. So let's open it and I'll tell you a little bit about it as we go along. Get a pair of trusty scissors here. I think this is the second generation, and I'll show you again how you can tell, but here we go as we open this up. Okay, I got a little, whatever this is, an advertisement from Goodwill. Great. One thing I've certainly ended up with a lot of is bubble tape from Goodwill purchases. So this one comes with a cable, which is nice because the project that I'm working on, I'll put this out of the way, is again I'm using this very same pad here, and I'm going to be hooking this on top of an old soundbar. So each of these iPods will be independently charged within the soundbar, and then I'm going to have one single 1/8-inch cable coming from the soundbar, pretending this pen is that cable, and I can just pop it into any one of the iPods and play music in the house when I'm working. So when I first saw this pink iPod, I couldn't believe what I was seeing. Actually, it looks like they took off the case. When I first saw it, it had a, if this is the right one, let me take a look real quick. Yep. Okay, I saw this, and I couldn't believe what I was looking at because it looked like it was just like stonewashed jeans. I couldn't believe how disgusting the surface of the iPod was. But let me take it out, and I'll show you why. Goodwill has a habit of taking photos of their iPods. Look at that. Look how dirty that is. So what I discovered after looking a little bit more was this had a silicone sleeve on it. Hey, look at that. An Apple-branded 30-pin connector. You know, this again is probably 14 years old, if it's the original connector. Rarely to see the Apple brand on them anymore. They don't put these on the current, well, they don't make 30 pins anymore, but anyway, I need 30-pin connectors for my project to connect them to the soundbar. So check it out. It's dirty, but if someone's going to put a protective sleeve on it, that's a good sign that it's probably in pretty good condition. Again, these are 14 years old, So the first thing I look at when I look at an iPod, other than the color that I want to collect, is what generation is it? You can tell the second generation because, as you can see on the dial, the scroll wheel, it's the same color as the iPod. So it matches the color of the aluminum extruded case of the iPod. That means it's a second generation. I turn it over, and I can't tell from the silicone that's enclosing it, but it's hopefully a 4 gigabyte because my goal is to collect the 4 gigabytes and then the 6. I don't want a 6 gigabyte. I just want a 4 gigabyte. So if these things come and they're when I buy them, and if the battery is dead, they're like $5.50 on eBay to replace the battery. They're relatively easy to take apart. Like I said, the first thing I look at to replace the innards, the screen, the scroll wheel, the logic board, the battery, or the hard drive, the micro drive, is what does the top look like? Because when you take this cap off, it's glued on. It has a light glue, but using a sponger, you can peel that off pretty quickly. I'll show you what it looks like when you peel that off. It looks like this, kind of grody. You take the screws out of that one, then you remove the bottom one, and you're left with this. This little gold connector connects the scroll wheel to the motherboard. And then ideally what you're supposed to do is just be able to push the center through, and the whole inside just comes right out the top. Slowly just comes right out the top. This one's damaged on the top, and I can't get the center to come out, but this was a $10 just experimental, I call it a donor, which I'll probably just end up using the parts for another broken iPod. Back to this one. So I'm going to take the scroll wheel off and show you something that's just incredible. I've never seen this before, if it hasn't been touched. I'll probably not use this case, but it's good when you see protective cases on iPods. It means someone took care of it. Yep, it's still there. I can't believe it. Look at this. Let me try to get it out first. Ugh. It was my first time seeing it, of course. Unboxing it for you. Dang. We'll do it from the back first. Look at that. It's 14 years old, relatively scratch-free. Look how shiny that is. That's a 4 gigabyte, second generation, pink 2004 iPod mini. I just love how these feel in the hands. Now, do you see it? Do you see it? Look at check that out. Whoever used it never took off the original plastic covering the scroll wheel. Look at that. Don't you love just getting Apple products and pulling the plastic off? This is 14 years old. Look at that. The bottom looks relatively clean. This person took good care of it. I'm going to turn off the hold button, see if it lights up. But I'm going to be the first person after 14 years to pull this off. Check this out. Look at this. Look at the beauty of it. I get my big fingers out of the way. Oh, the satisfaction. Oh, pristine scroll wheel. No one's touched it in 14 years. They've only touched the plastic. Isn't that incredible? It looks brand new. These things were $249 plus tax when they came out. This one I got into a little bit of a bidding war with somebody. I paid $13 for it. Probably $9 to ship it. Totally worth it. Let me press one of the buttons and see if it comes to life. Hey, look at that. Got the Apple logo. So they may have charged it before they sent it to me. We'll see what it does after this. Probably going to be a flashing. Oh, look at that. They reset it. It doesn't have any battery charge in it, but I'll go ahead and press English and see if you can see this. Look at that. The first time anyone's actually touched this virgin scroll wheel. Beautiful. This might be my favorite one so far. Go down to Artists. Press Enter. Wow, whoever took this, either the donor, again, this is a Goodwill donation. So what I've learned is Goodwill will typically take their good products and they put them online. So if you haven't discovered it yet, it's kind of a treat. Just go to shopgoodwill.com, create an account. The website's kind of folky looking, but for some reason I can't get my own name and password to be saved. I think because I have ad blocker galore on my devices. But I can't believe this. It looks like it's brand new. Look at that. Sweet. I'm going to charge this up. So far, it looks like I'm happy. Can't believe the battery's still going. I don't think anyone's opened this up. Someone that's going to put a protective case on it like this is probably going to take good care of it. But you saw that plastic wheel come off. That was a treat. Man, that was a treat. So this is it. I'm going to pull this back over. Get out of the way here. Move this here. Look at the difference in the beauty of these colors. These are second generations. That's the blue, the pink, and this is a green. These are my favorite colors. Look at that. Beautiful. I love the candy apple green on one of the higher generations, but this is as old school. This is the first time they used anodized aluminum, full casing. The first and second and third generation were, the first one was stainless on the bottom with a polycarbonate top. The second generation was the same design with a steel bottom, polycarbonate top. That was 2002. The first generation was 2001. 2003 introduced us to the third generation, which was a poly cover and bottom. I had that one when it first came out, 20 gig. This is the one that came out after those three. This came out in 2004, so it's 14 years old, recording in 2018, and they came out with the colors. These things were extremely popular. There's a funny story I read about the pink one, which was real popular. I guess in Hollywood, I live in the Los Angeles area, but in Hollywood, there was an Apple store which caters to the rich and famous out there. Rich and famous come in and they buy things. This pink one was really hot. Well, I guess it was the first generation. They didn't really say, but Melanie Griffith, I probably shouldn't say her name. Don't forget, don't remember that I said that. Apparently she went into the Apple store and she wanted a pink iPod mini. I could have been the first generation. Again, this is second generation. They didn't have one for her, so she threw a fit. I think I'll have to put the link to it in the comments of this video. But going on 12 minutes now, this is the cleanest 2004 iPod I've seen. It really helps to shop for what you're looking for. Again, last tip, if you're collecting these things, look for the ones that aren't crushed on the edge, because it's very difficult on the top. If someone drops it and bends the edge in, sure, the plastic will come out, but the inside won't slide out of the tray. Very difficult to get out. You might as well just pass on that one. The bottom looks very clean. Either someone blew some air into it or something, but I can't see any dust bunnies in there. The screen looks virtually unscratched. I'll keep that protective case. I don't think I'll keep it on. I just love how they feel. Sure, again, I can put a larger hard drive in it and have 256 gigs, but I like them just all natural. That's me, old school. Nothing, but there's no school like the old school. So I'll put this here, and stay tuned for the project where I end up creating an old soundbar made by Radio Shack, which is horrible because you can never get it to work right. But it's going to become basically a boombox for my Baby Driver inspired iPod mini collection. Thanks for watching.